Swinging a high drive into center field. It's at the wall. It is gone! Casas does it again. It's gone! It's into the bullpen! This game is tied!
He swings and rips one to center field. It's high, it's deep, it's back, it's gone! Sale winds, he fires. Swing and a miss, strike three, it's over! The Red Sox have won the World Championship!
Welcome back to Play Tessie. It is episode 120. If you're listening on drop day, it is August 26th. This is the official podcast of Being Too Annoyed to Come Up With One of These, also known as the official Red Sox podcast of WEEI. Before we get going, before we empty our hearts and our souls, just hit that subscribe button. It helps us out so much when you guys do that. So hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening and rate us 5 stars. You can also check it out on YouTube on the WEEI page. You can hit the thumbs up on those videos, and then also follow us on the socials at PlayTessie on both Twitter and Instagram. Here with Sammy, and I'm here with Pat, following a Red Sox sweep at the hands of the Diamondbacks. This was the end of the 10-game gauntlet that started with 4 games in Baltimore, 3 games in Houston, and then 3 games back at home, where the Red Sox are now 6 games under 500. Again, that was against the Diamondbacks, and they go 4-6 in that stretch. The goal going in, my proclaimed goal that I've been really trying to keep close track of here, was 6-4, and I said I would have been able to accept 5-5. And following the road portion of the gauntlet, the first 7 games, they were 4-3 in a position where you were playing a Diamondbacks team that was certainly on fire, though missing some key contributors, especially offensively, though we learned in this series that even without 3 of their better players, that is still a deep offense when they're going. They finished this stretch 4-6. The Royals and the Twins games, as we record, have ended for the day. They both lost. Had the Red Sox gone 5-5 in the stretch, they'd be 3.5 out of a playoff spot. Had they gone 6-4, as was the goal, my goal, you'd be 2.5 out of a playoff spot. And this is going into a run where the Royals' schedule is now harder. They lost their series against the Phillies. But despite that series loss for the Royals, they picked up a game on the Red Sox because they couldn't get a game against Arizona in a series where, even though the first game was out of hand, I felt all 3 of the games were winnable. The first one was close and you had chances, especially early. The second one was a game where you just didn't play good fundamental baseball, and had you hit with runners in scoring position, you win that game. And the third game, you're up 4-0 and you lose. So all you had to do was really get one of those games and you'd be in at least semi position to strike. But now you're 4.5 out, and I'm gonna be real here. Like, I'm not here to BS around and to give false hope when it's not there. But I'm also not here to prematurely declare it's over and then jump back on the wagon when they get back, if they get back into it. They're 4.5 out. They got bailed out a little bit today by 2 teams that they're trying to chase. They need to catch one of those teams. It's about 5 weeks left. They're 4.5 out. It's not over, but it's on the borderline of getting out of hand. And when you've lost 11 of your last 17 games, it's on the team. I know it's been a hard schedule, but the good teams, the playoff teams, take care of bad opponents and try to hover around 500 against the good opponents. And the Red Sox in this stretch have not hovered around 500 against good opponents. So obviously we'll get into a series preview later in the show where the Red Sox will have 5 against the Blue Jays, who are a last place team as it stands. But I mean, you're at the point where you've got to rip off a big winning streak, and you got to do it fast, because if this continues, if they keep playing the way they've played lately, the season's going to be over. So it's put up or shut up time here. That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah, it feels like the team is kind of on life support now. Like, it's not over, but it's certainly not looking good. I don't like to, jump the gun either way, declare these guys a great team or declare them dead. So me personally, I need this Blue Jays series to start like right now. I need to get this Diamondback series out of my head because I'm going to be going crazy thinking about it. The first game you kind of just throw away. But the second and third game, those were winnable games, and you just none of the performances were very inspiring. And I feel like I've come back to this a lot of the time. When the Red Sox are not winning games, it's just a bunch of mediocre play lately. and it just doesn't get the job done. And that's not how you make the playoffs. So they need to rip off some sort of big time run. It doesn't even need to be a winning streak. It just needs to be a series winning streak where you're putting together 2, 3, 4 series wins back to back to back. This Blue Jays one is massive, especially Monday as you're listening on drop day when you got 2 games. So, man, I guess that's the silver lining is it's not very complicated. You have to start winning games. You got bailed out today, like you said, Gordo, by the Twins and the Royals, 2 teams that have been playing better than the Red Sox. You have to start cashing in on some of these wins, and now is the time to do it. Now you've got these lesser teams. You survived. Well, you technically survived the gauntlet. 4.5 back, not exactly anything to be proud of, but man, they have to start winning or it's on to 2025.
Yeah. I mean, this whole series is just a giant kick in the dick. There's no way around it. And it's not just the Diamondback series. It's not just this 10-game stretch. Like, there's been things going on all year long that they've just failed to do. They're now 6 games under 500 at home, 2 games under 500 in August. And then in the second half, post All-Star break, they're 6 games under. So they're not taking care of business at home, and they're not doing themselves any favors, not even winning games against non-division winning teams. Like, yeah, Diamondbacks are a great team, but great teams make the playoffs. You're going to have to beat Diamondbacks caliber teams, and they just haven't done it lately. So they have a really good stretch on schedule. They have to start turning it up. They have to take care of business. They should absolutely run through the next, I think, 3 or 4 series. And if they don't, if they play 500 baseball, God forbid, under 500, they're done. Season's over.
Where my head's at, and like you look at how many wins, what is the Red Sox record right now? They have, I'm trying to think in terms of games to go. They have 33. Yeah, the Sox have 33 games to go. And what is their record right now? They have 67 wins, 33 games to go. That means you have to win to get to, like, let's just say to get to 87 wins. You have to win 20. You have to go 20-13 to get to 87 wins. 20-13. That's like we're at the point where actually, I mean, God, like they need sweeps in here too. It's not even like we're past. I almost feel like past the point of just like put together some series wins, unless like the Royals or the Twins absolutely collapse. But I mean, all of that starts right here against the Blue Jays, because there's winning the series, but winning the series 3-2 with where the Red Sox stand right now, I don't even consider that a series win at this point. You have to take 4 out of the 5 games or sweep the 5-game series against the Blue Jays to put yourself in a position where you can strike, because right now, 4.5 out, they're not in striking distance. You're relying on way too much from other teams to get in striking distance.
They're so going to win 3 out of 2. That's the most predictable thing of all time. They're going to win 3 out of 2, and we're going to be like, well, they won the series, but man, you couldn't have taken 4. Oh man, I feel like that's a foregone conclusion. I'll get more into it when we do our series preview, but would there be anything less shocking than like, oh, you won 3 out of 5, could have been better, but I guess you got the job done. That would be the most apt thing ever at the moment.
So at this point in time, we're chasing the Twins, we're chasing the Royals, obviously. Luckily for the Red Sox, the Twins and Royals haven't been playing all that well either. But the teams below them have been playing pretty good baseball. So now we're not even worried just about the Rays or the Royals. You have to be worried about the Rays. You have to be worried about the Mariners. There are teams that are coming up from the back. It's not like a 3-dog race anymore. And the Red Sox do get lucky because the closest team right now is Tampa, who after today, they're playing as we speak. It's 0-0 right now. They're 2 games out right now. They also have
the Red Sox.
Yes, a gauntlet. 3 with the Mariners, 3 with the Padres, 4 with the Twins, 3 with the Orioles, 3 with the Phillies, 4 with the Guardians.
And they play the Red Sox multiple series down the stretch, right? So, like, if the Sox are going to make the playoffs, you're going to have to, at minimum, win both of those. Like, we're at the how many series can the Red Sox afford to even lose down the stretch? Like 1, 2? If they sweep some series, they can maybe afford to lose 2 series down the stretch.
I can't even think of it like that. It's like what if the Royals lose 10 in a row? We don't know. We just had this is like I said, I think not last episode, 2 episodes ago. It's the one game at a time season, one series at a time. You could even go as far as saying. So like, who knows? We're not going to know where this team or the other teams that they're chasing are going to be a week from now. It's just nauseating to see all these missed opportunities. That, like, for me at least, it feels like my brain is clouded right now, where I can't think straight. I can't think like, well, if X happens, then maybe they can make a run. It's just like, I just need the next series to start right now. I wish I could teleport to game 1 tomorrow on Monday, today, when you're listening. Sheesh, man. I'm so rattled. I can't believe I get like this.
Yeah, I mean, and looking forward, to win the next series, because I agree, Sammy. Like, especially the mindset that the guys who actually play the games, the players need to have is just, how can we win tomorrow? How can we win twice tomorrow? For this case, for this series, to me, so much of it was just about the offense and hitting with runners in scoring position. And like, you can look to the walks on the pitching staff too. That's one thing I was thinking about. Do you remember our podcasts? Because like, you can only go so much with talking about offense with runners in scoring position. They had runners on, they didn't convert. Like, Jarren Duran grounded into 2 double plays in the same game today, which I'm pretty sure has never happened before. But the pitching, I go back to the first few series of the season when we really sort of started to truly buy into the whole Andrew Bailey program. They were getting strike 1 almost every time. They were pitching from a position of being ahead in counts almost every time, and they weren't walking guys. Like, we were looking down the line, it was like, wow, this trip through the rotation, the starters walked a total of 2 guys. Now it's like almost a surprise when a starter in one game walks less than 4 guys. Like, that's where this has gone to, which is why I'm like a little bit hesitant to continue. I continue to be hesitant to say that everyone's wearing down. I wonder why, when the velocity for the most part with these guys, and not every start, and certainly not every pitcher. I know Pavetta's had problems with it, but for the most part, velocity has not been an issue with guys. It's not like their pitches are down 2 miles an hour now compared to before. It's that they're just not locating.
Well, it's not just velocity that could indicate wearing down. It could be the inability to repeat your delivery, which would be fatigue, because it's a lot of muscle movement. And if you're not able to repeat the delivery, you're not going to be as consistent throwing strikes. Maybe you're throwing the same velocity, but you're not throwing strikes because you're, the fatigue in your muscles. You can't repeat the same motion over and over like you could early on in the season. And this is just a theory of mine. Like, I've only pitched at an amateur level, never thrown 100+ innings. So just a guess, but velocity is the first thing we look to. It could also be the repeatable delivery. And with a guy like Houck, especially, who pitched on Sunday as we're recording, he's got a lot of movement, a lot of swinging limbs in his delivery. So maybe it's tougher for him to keep repeating. So I don't know. It's tough. I feel like we're grasping at straws, trying to figure out what's wrong with this team, when in reality, it's probably just a medley of small things piling up all at once.
That's what it feels like. And the third game in the series was a perfect example of that. There were so many little things, and it began with Masa getting thrown out at third. And then the next inning, you had men on first and second, no outs, Luis Guillorme up, and he's trying to give you an out. He's going to bunt. And Houck walks him instead of just allowing him, or obviously he wasn't trying to walk him, but he didn't allow him to get the bunt down. You can assume if he gets the bunt down, the guys move up to second and third, get the out at first. Had that bunt gotten down and not been a walk, they escaped that inning up 4-1. Instead, it's 4-3. There was also the Tyler O'Neill airmail throw that also contributed to that third run scoring. Little things like that. And then the very next half inning, you get Duran and Willier on right off the bat, and Casas endeavors don't come through. Then right after that, Houck walks the 6-man, which eventually not even eventually, the very next batter is Eugenio Suarez, who hits a 3-run homer. It's like these little things all add up.
Dude, that pitch was so bad.
And a team like the Diamondbacks, and a team like the Orioles, and a team like the Astros, they're not going to let you get away with those little things. The Astros, I remember in the it was the first game that they lost. They tried to let you get away with a lot because the Astros were making a lot of mistakes. But good teams typically do not let you get away with little mistakes, especially when you make several of them. luckily, luckily the schedule gets a little bit easier, but I know it's that case. It's the case with those 5 games, but I'm going to give you a little comparison here just because I still personally feel like the Royals are the most catchable team here. The Royals have 32 games left. 23 of those 32 games are against 500 or better teams. That's good for the Red Sox. And the Royals record against 500 teams or better is 31-37. So under 500. The Red Sox, though, we talk about their schedule getting easier. It's certainly easier than it's been. Like, the Red Sox have been playing teams like the Orioles and the Diamondbacks and the Astros and the Dodgers. And like, we've seen a lot of it, but the Red Sox have 33 games left. 19 of those are against teams at 500 or better, which I feel like is more than gets advertised. Like, I feel like people think that the Red Sox have this really easy schedule coming up where it's really just kind of an easy couple of weeks where the Mets are mixed in there. And I can't quite figure out whether you should even be afraid of them or not. Like, I don't think fear is in my head, but like, that's a series that like you're going to have to play good baseball to win. And then at the end, you've got a couple series with the Rays, and we all know where those can go. So like, you're going to have to play good baseball. These series are not going to be handed to you. It's not like you have a schedule full of White Sox games coming up. So it really is all these little things. Oh, another one, Game 2, Connor Wong not catching that ball with the guy on third that scores to make it 4-0 in that scenario. And Bernardino walking in the run, the batter before that. Two little things.
An issue.
Things. Yeah, it's a problem.
It's brutal. It's very, very brutal. By the way, I don't want to, diminish the Diamondbacks or the Astros, but you got both of their JV squads. Like, that Diamondbacks lineup was not impressive. You had Corbin Carroll, great. Jake McCarthy, whatever. Jock
he's been good. Come on, give him credit.
Come on, these aren't top tier lineups. They're missing Walker. They're missing their best bat in Marte, and you still can't beat him. You got Jock Peterson hitting third. I know he's got good numbers against righties, but
great.
It's Jock.
All the Sox throw is righties. Like, he's got a 950 OPS.
Think I speak for everybody when I say I never want to see Eugenio Suarez hit at Fenway again.
Oh my God.
He's had a dog shit season, and of course,
I went 8 for 13, 14, 2 home runs, a double, must have had 7 or 8 RBI. I'm all set. And it's guys like that who somehow have punished the Red Sox all year.
Who hit cleanup for the Diamondbacks today?
Josh Bell, probably.
Josh Bell hit cleanup. You cannot tell me that's a scary lineup without Walker and Marte. That's why I'm like,
scary. Scary is the wrong. Yeah, scary is the wrong word.
Average. It's the same with the Astros. Well. The Astros without friggin' Tucker, and they were missing Bregman for 2 of the 3 games. That's not exactly scary. You lost to them too. It's so discouraging, man, when you not only lose to these good teams, but you lose to them when they're not at their best either. That's just not. And that's why, like, I look ahead to this gauntlet of the easy gauntlet, we could call it, the pillow gauntlet. And I'm not exactly super confident the Red Sox are gonna do too. I already gave away my series prediction. I think they're gonna win 3, and we're both gonna be, oh, that's okay, but we wanted more. Hey, Chester. That's why I gotta watch on YouTube. We got dog content. Chester is also sad about the Red Sox.
Yeah, look at him. Doesn't he look depressed?
Do the floppy ear. Dude, he's got great dog ears.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah, that'll play.
That's a great dog floppy ear. His ears are protected with the flaps. But anyway, yeah, to my point, I'm not supremely confident that the Red Sox are going to take advantage of this schedule. Why would you be? They haven't been able to beat these JV versions of the good teams. How much? I don't know, man. Ryan Nelson and the B version of the Diamondbacks lineup, you lose by 10. I can't possibly feel too confident about beating any team other than maybe the White Sox right now, but we'll see. Baseball changes fast.
Even then, the Red Sox, like, this goes back. Like, how many times have we gone into, like, any portion of the season, whether it be a series against an easy opponent or a series where, like, oh, you're tied for a playoff spot, or like you're a game up or a game back, and it's like, wow, you have a chance to, like, do damage here. And they haven't done it. Like, the times where they've made up ground it's almost like when we least expect it. Like, when we think they're, like, on the precipice of getting out of things. Like, when early in the year, when they won those series against the Phillies and the Yankees after not taking advantage against the White Sox in a 4-game series that they split. It's like, I agree with you, Sammy. You can't count on them to go into any series and just take care of business. And maybe that has something to do with it being such a young team that they can be a little bit inconsistent. Whereas like, I don't know, you just look at a team like the Phillies and like when they need to take care of business, that's a group of veterans that just take care of business. And I mean, it's easier to say something like that when the team's not playing well. Whereas earlier this year when they're playing well, it's like, oh my God, look at the high flying Red Sox. These guys are running all over the place. It's because they're such a young, energetic team. But I mean, there's benefits and there's drawbacks to having a team built like this, a team built on young talent. It's a lot of lack of experience, not just in like in terms of it being inexperienced in a playoff run, but inexperience of going a full 162 and playing important games when you're exhausted, when you've played 130 games already during the season. Like that's hard. Like a lot of guys haven't done that. Look at the pitchers. Like how many pitchers in this starting rotation have pitched a full, complete season of 162 games as a starter? Is it like Bayo came? Yeah, Bayo kind of did it last year. He was hurt for the beginning. Houck hasn't done it. Cutter,
Pavetta a couple years ago.
Pavetta's done it. Is that it?
Pavetta's like a super senior when it comes to this like first time stuff. Like how many?
Right. Like look at that. Like that's like it's almost. And we said this. Like this isn't like news. We talked about this even when they were pitching well, which is like, what are these guys gonna do down the stretch when they reach these innings, not innings caps, but like they pass their career highs in innings? We talked about it. And we like, obviously there was unknown and you want to hope that, you know, things are just going to be okay because things look okay in the moment, but this was always a potential problem and it has bit them. I know the starting pitching looked like it was turning a corner, and like
this is why the three of us, the three of us and Joe in the back, we all have consistently said we like Andrew Bailey. We think he's done a good job, but you can't just say he's fixed the pitching staff. It's not that simple. These guys need experience. This sucks right now, but this is going to be beneficial for them in the future. But like you can't just teach a guy to go over his innings limit and be okay. They've got to experience it. And how many times have I said this? Andrew Bailey, good pitching coach, not a magician. He can't just snap his fingers and make these guys veterans all of a sudden. So this is why baseball is such a long season. How many times I'm completely guilty of it. You buy into something early on in the season and it comes back to haunt you and you feel like an idiot, but we all do it. So
yeah, all the time.
Where do you even go from here? I don't even know what to say. This is one of these episodes where I'm kind of like, what do I even say about this team? They're running out of gas. This is the third year in a row. Would any of you be shocked if they finish with 78 wins again?
No, because we've seen that. We've seen that with last year's team that they were around. I'm sure last year's team at this point was probably in a worse spot. Maybe not, actually. I don't know. We'd have to take a look into that one. But look at Brian Bayo. At what point last year, because he was so good in the first half and then he tailed in the second half. It was pretty much the entire second half was just not good for him. He's kind of one of the only guys who I feel like stuff-wise still has it. And he didn't have a very good start in this series. It was one of those ones where he starts out slow and he finishes slow and has like a couple of mental lapses in the middle, even though his stuff was great in the middle and he goes like 4 straight great innings. But
has it like what do you mean by has it like command and stuff?
Like I'm just saying, like he doesn't look like he's like he is not slowing down right now. Even though this this particular start was not good, he's in this portion of the season that's been the best. He's in his best portion of the season. Whereas at this point last year, he was winding down. Now he's got all those innings under his belt. He's done it before. He did it a year ago. So now it's a little bit easier. And hopefully at this time next year, you know, Tanner Houck will still be going strong. Cutter Crawford will still be going strong because they did it this year. But that doesn't help you this year. Again, we said this a million times at the trade deadline, but if those guys wear down and can't get you through August and September, it doesn't matter what you do at the deadline. Like that's where your season is going to be lost if those guys can't get you through it. And you know, they were turning a corner, but and Cutter was good in his start 5 innings, 2 runs, but Tanner Houck in this one, certainly far from his best. Definitely, you know, given a 4-run lead, 4-0 lead, and couldn't protect it. And a lot of that was on him with the walks, to me.
Also, I want to point out, I forget which inning it was. I think it was the 4th inning. That's when I felt the game was kind of like not in a great spot. You have 2 men on, no outs. This might have been the fourth or fifth inning. You have 2 men on, nobody out. You have Casas Devers coming up, and you get nothing. That was on Sunday. To me, that was kind of the warning sign that this is
Yeah,
a lot of potential to go downhill, and it directly came back to bite them in the end with the final score. It's just so frustrating. I thought that was even more egregious than the Yoshida blunder. Yoshida thing, I understand what he was trying to do. It was a really stupid move, but like, it was 1 out. He wants to get the third so that a ground ball or fly ball could score him. I get it, but
and it's what they do. This is an aggressive base running team, even if you don't want Yoshida to be. Like, it's an aggressive base running team, and they were up 4-0.
Okay, but you have to admit that replay when they showed Yoshida and the camera followed him running. Come on. His running form is so perfect that it's funny. Like, it's such perfect running form that you never see someone running that like uniform that I had to laugh. I was a little upset, but the replay made me chuckle a little bit. So thank you to the Nesson team.
Have you guys ever seen the skit of Keegan-Michael Key from Key and Peele when he pretends to be James Franklin, the Penn State head coach, and he runs down the sideline and it's completely like a joke? That's exactly how Masataka Yoshida runs the bases.
What's the thing that they yell? Like football coaches yell to you? It's like hammer the nail, hammer the nail. I don't know. I always heard the football coaches yelling that to have you do, like, because you're supposed to run like your hands are hammers, bang, 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 bang. That's how Yoshida runs.
It's so funny. It looks like a skit. It looks like he's doing it as a joke.
Yeah, his form is too perfect for the speed that he goes. Like, if he ran fast with that form, it wouldn't be as funny. But his form is perfect and it's slow.
Yes. Well, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
It looks exactly like it.
Maybe what if the Red
Off
Sox
goes.
had,
Here's Masataka Yoshida.
Yeah, that is the Yoshida running form.
His head doesn't move. That's why it's funny. His head is completely stationary. Like it's not connected to the rest of his body.
Yeah, that's the essence of the Yoshida run, is the head very still and the hands open, like almost like karate chopping next to his body. Anything I guess we could talk a little bit bullpen stuff. I don't know. Like, Slayton got hit around a little bit in his rehab start. They seem unconcerned, but like, of course they're going to seem unconcerned. Maybe he gets another, maybe he doesn't. We'll find out. Wink, game 1, just really bad.
Whoa.
Really. And you look at his pitch mix. Everything is between 90 and 95, except for the sweep. That is such a problem that his changeup sits 90 to 91 and is barely slower than his fastball sinker, whichever one he wants to throw. Like, that is such a problem. And and it was like that last year. It's just that everything last year was up about 1-2 miles an hour compared to this year. And I know he's got that ankle thing, if you guys remember from before the season, where it's like he needs surgery, but he like realized it too late, so he wasn't able to get it. So we'll probably get that in the offseason. So maybe that's part of it.
If it's good enough to pitch on, though, I'm not like, he's been pitching on it all year. I'm not gonna. Yeah. It's a thing that's happening. We should, mention it. But I mean, like, if you're good enough to be out there, yeah. If it's messing you up, get out.
And the fact of the matter is, even if his shit was 1 mile, 2 miles an hour up, the changeup cannot be that close to your sinker or fastball. Like, that thing's got to be like 84. Like, this is when Garrett Whitlock was struggling a ton last year. They messed with the changeup, got it back to where it was before, slowed it down a little bit, and he had a bunch of success right after they figured that out. I don't know why it hasn't been done with Josh Winkowski. I don't know if that's like maybe he doesn't.
He might just not be able to. Like, he might not be able to.
Like, I don't know. You're right. Like, I'm not in these pitching sessions, but like, it's not like we're asking him to gear it up 5 miles an hour. Like, you could slow it down. Like, just maybe work with different grips, work with different arm angles, like work with stuff, and just like work to figure out how can we get some more separation with the high velocity and the low velocity stuff. Because the fact of the matter is, if everything is within 5 miles an hour of each other, everything just looks the same, and you just got to find the spot, and you can time it up so easily. And I think that's why he gets hit. Like, he's not like he only walked one guy
Pretty
in this outing.
too. I mean, if my dumbass from my couch can be like, oh, he's gonna throw the fastball here, he's gonna throw the changeup here, and then I'm sure the major league hitters can also tell that. And another thing with the changeup, it's not like your boy Edward Cabrera, where the changeup is fast and doesn't have that much separation from the fastball, but it's moving like crazy. His is like the Winkowski changeup. It moves a little bit. It's fine, but it really, if you don't have that separation, what's the point? It's just a meatball at that point.
It's going to be something that's just going to be an off-season thing. Like, the Wink we have this year is the Wink we have. It's frustrating because Wink last year was just, I mean, he was so reliable. He was a 7th inning guy that he was last year's Justin Slayton. Like, it was like you feel good about Wink, and then you go to Martin, you go to Jansen, but it just hasn't been that way this year, and we'll see what happens. This is what you're going to get. Let's jump into a series preview here. We got 5 games with the Blue Jays, who are in last place. They're 63-68, though they have won 6 out of. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. The first game is the whole Danny Jansen thing, where it's like he played for the Blue Jays in the game and he was up, and now he's going to be catching the game. He'll make history as the first major league player to play in the same game, but for both teams.
In case you haven't heard yet.
Yeah. Oh my God. I feel like very cool at first, but after the 15th time,
I'm kind of tired of hearing about it at this point. To be totally, I get it. It's cool, but like, holy shit, I've heard way too many times how this is. It's cool, but cooler things.
Yeah. So that game resumes in the top of the second inning. Blue Jays have a man on first and nobody out, and whoever is going to pinch hit for Jansen is going to be at the plate in that moment. Pitchers for that game have yet to be announced. The Red Sox and Blue Jays will each get to add a 27th man to the roster for the doubleheader. Personal guess here, I think the Red Sox are going to go and bring up Richard Fitz to make his major league debut. He's on enough rest to pitch. He's on 4 days rest. I don't think he's going to get the start per se, because I don't think they're going to want to throw him in there for his debut with a guy on base. So I bet they go with a reliever and then go for Fitz for maybe 4 or so innings, or if you can get more, you get more, but I wouldn't expect it, and then hope to finish the game out. And if it's in dire mode, like maybe they option. I think Joely threw all 3 games in the Diamondbacks series. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if that's the case, I could definitely, even though he threw pretty well, I could see him getting DFA'd before the doubleheader. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. And the Jays have yet to announce a starter there as well. That's going to be a weird-ass game. The second game, after that's all said and done, is going to be Nick Pivetta versus Jose Barrios, who's had a very good season, 3.79. He's coming off 3 straight really good starts, 7 innings, and all 3 of those starts allowing 1, 1, and 2 earned runs. He will be the best starter the Red Sox face in the series. Game 3, Cooper Criswell versus Yariel Rodriguez, who's honestly been solid, 4.33 ERA, but he's coming off a couple of S starts, 5 earned and 4 earned in the last 2. He was the guy who was throwing the original game that got suspended, but he's not going to be the one that resumes it. Game 4, Brian Bayo versus Chris Bassett, who, I mean, we all really liked the idea of the Red Sox possibly trading for Bassett at the deadline, but he has a 6.8 ERA since July 1st.
Whoops.
So glad they didn't do that.
Yikes.
Man, I would have been all over that one. I would have had to eat that so hard.
Everyone would have. No, you wouldn't, because every single person would have loved it. It made all the sense in the world. It just baseball.
Blue Jays should have traded him. They're stupid for not having traded him.
That's something they're gonna have to eat.
Even if he pitched well, they would have been stupid for not trading him. But Game 5, Cutter Crawford versus Bowden Francis, who carried a no-no into the 9th, and that's not even just one good start. Like, this guy was like a bullpen arm. Now, his last 3 starts, 7 innings, 1 run, 7 shutout, and then this one where it was 8 no hit and then 1 earned run. And in those starts, he has 8, 7, and 12 strikeouts. Oh my God. This guy has been crazy.
This is the ultimate guy that cooks the Red Sox kind of guy. Guy you've barely ever heard of. He comes into the game. We're like, wait a minute. Is that the guy who almost threw the no-hitter? Oh my God, he's on fire, and he shuts down the Red Sox. Like, I'm dreading that
Red
game.
Sox, like, against these high strikeout pitchers, like, yeah.
Also, like, I bet if my name were Bowden Francis, I would talk like this all the time.
Yeah.
Bowden Francis.
Yeah, he's got that mustache thing going too, where like he could pull that off. If that
Really?
was...
Bowden Francis from the royal family. Bowden Francis from the royal family. Yes.
Didn't he have a great quote after his almost no hitter?
No, Taylor Ward did.
No, I thought it was Bowden Francis. He was like, "I just trust my shit and let it eat."
Pat, you gotta say
okay,
Oh
yeah.
no, I got it right here. This is from Pitching Ninja. I got it right here. Rolling with it, believing in my shit and letting it eat. That was after
That's
his
good.
8K or his 8-inning 12 strikeout game.
I thought you were talking about Taylor Ward, who was like, yeah, his stuff wasn't special at all. I don't know why anybody couldn't hit it. Like,
I love that. Dude, I love that. We need
Oh, I
more
have
of that
that.
in baseball. Like,
I
don't
know.
like how fighters do that. I like that where they're just like,
Yeah.
yeah, his shit's nothing. And then
Taylor-
like before you face him too. That's even cooler. You insult the guy before you face him so that it's in the guy's head and then it creates drama. We need more of that. I want to just have like Devers go to the media and be like, the Blue Jays are a bunch of fucking losers. We're going to win 5 games against them just to fire everybody up and make some tension.
This is so good. So you have Bowden Francis after that outing saying, "Rolling with it, believing in my shit, letting it eat." At the same time, in the other locker room, this is the quote from Taylor Ward after the game. "I thought that everything was hittable. Maybe to other guys, he made better pitches. A lot of guys were talking about his split and that being on. But personally, I didn't think it was anything special."
And then Chris Bassett, the Blue Jays their broadcast was interviewing Bowden Francis during the game today, the day after the almost no hitter, and Chris Bassett held a sign behind him that was like, because two of these starts that he's been really good were against the Angels, and it was like 12 innings, or 15 innings or whatever, like 20 Ks, but shit sucks or something like that. Funny as hell. In terms of the Blue Jays bats, they've got one freaking guy. Vlad Jr. is back to being like, holy shit, one of the best hitters in baseball. He has a 1365 OPS since July 14th. That is absurd. 14 homers in those 34 games.
Wait, what? 13 home runs in 34 games?
14 homers in 34 games. And did he
Oh
hit
my
another
God.
today? I didn't check to see. I put that stat together before today's game. So if he hit another homer today, let me see real quick. He did not, but he went 2 for 3 with a double and 2 walks.
Probably like, Vlad, if you hit a home run, we'll give you free Tim Hortons. And then he just starts hitting tanks.
Yeah,
Tanks
so
for the fast food.
he's crazy. He remains my white whale. Bring Vlad Jr. to Boston. Find any way to make it happen. Other guys, Alejandro Kirk and Dalton Varsho both have mid 800s OPS in the last month. But other than that, not really much there. George Springer stinks this year. Sox killer Davis Schneider in his last 18 games has a 329 OPS. So that's pretty bad. But yeah, man, just please, for the love of God, this is it. I mean, it feels like win 4 or 5, or we're really talking about it being over unless the Royals really give you a gift.
By the way, George Springer, I agree. He's been awful this year. He's on fire right now. He has a 900 OPS in the last week or so. It's not good.
Is that right? He had it was a mid 600s OPS in the last 30 days. So it literally must be within the last
last
days.
7 days, 6 games only. Oh, whoa. Okay. Weird. 6 games, 6 hits. 3 of them are home runs. So he's not on fire. I'll take that back, but he is hitting home runs. I just feel, God,
it was 2 games. It was back-to-back 2 games.
I thought I was going to feel better about this Blue Jay series after discussing it with you guys. I think I feel worse somehow.
In the Angels series, it was a 4-game series. He went 1 for 12. Was not without a homer. The homers were against the Reds. He had 2 games, 3 homers in those 2 games. So
okay, so not that hot. Weird.
But he kills the Sox, so he could, but whatever.
Connecticut.
We got to give the predictions here. Joe, I know no one got this right because we literally had sweeps and Sox taking 2 out of 3. So what's the score? Just lay it on me.
Well, as you can see right here, golden sombrero, 2 reasons. 1, we're all losers in the series prediction. 2, had a great time at Country Fest. Recommend everyone going, even if you don't like country music. But anyway, yes, the standings remain. Sammy still in the lead with 14, Pat with 11, me with 10, and Gordo with 7. And I should point out that in the series prediction that we had for the suspended game, we all predicted that they would win that game. So we could.
Well, I'm changing my prediction for that. Nope. I'm changing.
Okay.
I think
I'll
you
go
can be able to
first.
change it. It's basically a new game. It's tied, so it's basically a new game. It's just short. So
And it has new pitchers, and it's 0-0. I'll go first, and I'm gonna give an order. I'll be very impressed.
Yes, because this is double points. Double points.
I'll be mad impressed if someone gets the order on a 5-gamer. I'm gonna say that the Sox take 3 out of 5, and my order, I think they lose the short game, win the nightcap, lose with Criswell against Yariel, and then win with Bayo against Bassett, and then win Cutter against Francis. So loss, win, win. Just when you think they're going to lose the 2 out of the first 3, and we're going to be putting the nail in the coffin, and then they're going to win the last 2, and it's going to be like, are we really about to like grab the nail out? Like, that's how it's going to feel.
By the way, we discussed before the podcast, we're going to treat this one like a 4-gamer. If you get the order right, like bonus, like same thing, right? No double bonus. Okay.
Yep.
No.
All right. I'll go. I think they win both games tomorrow. We feel awesome. Then they lose a game. Which one's the Bowden Francis? Is that 4th?
It's the 5th.
Okay. So they're going to go win, loss, win, loss.
3 out of 5, win, loss, win, loss. Joe, are you getting this down? This is complex.
Win, loss, win.
No, win, loss.
No.
No.
Loss.
Win.
See,
loss.
that's why I need these double checks.
Okay, ready? Here. I'm going to say again.
Win, loss.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
There
You got
we
it.
go.
They're
All right,
winning
Pat.
both tomorrow for sure. Book it.
I'm going win in the game continuation. They lose the Pavetta start. So win, loss, win, loss.
So we have 3 out of 5 so far. Joe, did you get that order?
I got win, loss, win,
No.
loss.
Loss, win.
Oh, you're flipping. Okay.
No. Oh, no. So, no. Well,
Yeah,
no,
wait,
I'm sorry.
God.
Win,
Joe's
loss.
right. Joe
This
is
is
right,
awful.
Pat.
This is awful. Win,
Joe is
loss.
right.
Win, loss.
All right, Joe, what do you got?
God, I'm trying to now write myself after trying to memorize all
Sorry.
that.
Win, loss.
All right, loss, win,
Well-
win, loss, win, loss, win.
Okay,
Got it,
quiet.
Joe?
I'm thinking. I'm gonna
Tie.
say. I'm gonna say they lose the shortened game, but then they'll win the nightcap. I'll say then that they win the next start. They win after that, but then they lose the finale. So to me, it'll be loss, win. Typing this out as I go. Loss, win, loss.
So we all take 3 out of 5, and I believe we all had different orders to get there.
That's
But
right.
we all agree that the Red Sox are going to win the series, but it's not going to feel like a series win because they really, like, if they want to make the playoffs here, they cannot lose multiple in this series. Pat, what are we up to now, baby?
Crystal bomb.
Bomb it.
Bomb it. All right. Joe, score update, por favor.
This one's going to be quick as well because we only had one, or I should say there were 2 Sox homers in the series, but only one was a crystal bomb, and that was, yes, the man at the top of the leaderboard. Sammy had Tristan Casas go deep, which he did in a big way in that 3rd game. He's now at 20. Sammy is leading with 20 points right now. Gordo is in 2nd with 18. He struck out with Jaron Duran. Pat, you're in 3rd, still with 8. Thick Willie did not go deep. And then me with my crazy pick of Ceddanne Rafaela didn't even come close.
All right.
I'll go last.
I was stubborn. I went first last time. I'm not going to do that again. Go with Sammy.
You want me to go first? First is an advantage because then I can actually not really if we're picking doubles.
No, because I feel like every time one of us goes first, you get points. So I'm reverse.
I'm taking Devers. Devers, I think it's a no-brainer. Obviously, I'm going to pick their best home run hitter in a 5-game series. Got 5 chances. I want to get a point. No-brainer. This is easy. Give me Devers. Shouldn't have let me go first, boys. Shouldn't have let me go first. That's why I was saying it. I would have picked someone else if someone else.
Honestly,
took Devers.
I did it. I did it because I didn't think you could pick Devers, but that was stupid.
Oh, why would I not? It's the
Pat-
best odds possible.
Pat, I'm not going to take Devers.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want me to go?
Oh, yeah, you can go.
All right, I'm taking Masa. Masa's a Blue Jay killer. All 4 of the Blue Jay starters that are announced are righties, so he will be in all of those games. So give me Masa.
All right, Joe.
I think this one's easy for me. I need to get points, and I need Tristan Casas to go deep again. One of the hottest hitters right now.
Yeah, it's a good
Too
pick.
easy.
He's going deep in this series. Joe, you're getting a point.
I'm going with a little Danny Jansen revenge home run.
I love that. Good
I'm
pick,
going with
Pat.
Danny Jansen. I had that in the back pocket the whole time. I was in no rush. I knew no one was taking Danny Jansen.
That's why you're like,
I know,
Sammy, I'm
usually-
going to let you
usually
go
the
first,
crazy
man.
ones are mine.
I'm going to let
Usually-
you go first.
Yeah. Oh, dang. I'm stuck with Devers.
Ah,
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I mean,
All
I
right.
get, wait, for what inning, by the way, is the game picking up in?
a second.
Second.
Okay. So I basically get 5 full games of Devers. It's
Yeah.
pretty
They-
dang good.
They can't change the batting order either. Like, it's not like the lineup that they had out there, I think has to, like, I think the Blue Jays might have to like pinch. I don't know how this is going to work. This is going to be
They're
fascinating.
going to have to pinch hit the first batter of the game or the resumed game. They're going to have to pinch hit because Jansen's up for them technically.
But like, they're going to have 20. Like, is there any player that they're going to have on their roster that's going to be unavailable?
I don't know. This is
Like,
confusing as hell.
yeah,
You know
I
what's
don't get
also funny is that this is going to be played in front of like 10 people because nobody's going to keep the ticket and then be available in the middle of the day on a Monday to go to
That's true.
Fenway. It's going to
So
be
I
empty.
have the lineup in front of me. I have the game in front of me right
Oh,
now.
can
And
you
this,
read-
And
read-
this was the Sox lineup.
Read it from
Well-
where they're at in the lineup. Do you like? Do you know where they're at in the lineup? Because like I'm sure like Devers has already hit, so he's gonna.
They
have
went
to bat,
through
like, 9.
4. So they went Duran, Hamilton, Abreu, Devers. And then
Ah.
the scheduled ones after that: Ref Snyder, Yoshida, Valdez, Dom, and Reese.
So like none of those guys are here. Like,
Oh, damn. Yeah.
so okay, so they're not gonna have to have 3 pinch hitters and no one available on the bench. So
Well, for Toronto, they had Justin Turner in their lineup.
yeah, no, this is just gonna be they get to
Another one.
replace those guys that aren't on the roster with players that also were not on the roster. That's gonna be the deal. That has to be right.
That's
All right,
how I would
Sammy.
imagine it goes.
Bring us home, baby. What do we got?
Uh,
Are there losers today?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're all losers.
Yeah,
We're all big
there are.
fucking losers.
unfortunately.
I was gonna say I think there's losers today.
There are losers today. Unfortunately for us, it's the Boston Red Sox and the fans of the Boston Red Sox. We've all lost today as one, but we're not going to lose in this segment.
Are you sure?
Come on, Sammy, drum up some energy. It's guys being dudes. Yay.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Sure.
Okay. The Red Sox are playing the Blue Jays. I need a player who played for both the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. Please make it weird. I need some weird players to uplift my spirits so I'm not just, thinking about like friggin' the sadness of this Diamondbacks series. Who would like to start us off?
I can go.
Pat, go ahead.
I remember when this guy signed with the Blue Jays. I remember thinking, like 10 years from now, that's going to be one of those. He played for that team? It's been far, far less than 10 years. And I truly do believe that no one remembers that Clay Buchholz was a Toronto Blue Jay his last year in the league.
That's so
Was
He
weird.
was not good.
Oh, he was good for the fucking Diamondbacks, right? Wasn't he good for like the Diamondbacks the year
Yep.
before this?
16 starts, had a 201.
What the
Yep.
fuck? What?
Yep. Clay Buchholz in Toronto, 12 starts. He went 2-5 with a 6.56. He was 34 years old. And that was after Arizona, where he was very good in 16 starts. But Arizona was after Philly, where he was garbage.
Yeah,
I
he's really
mean,
bad.
only was rostered on the major league team for 2 games and had a 12.27 ERA. So
Yeah, he was horrible.
Buchholz ended his very up and down career, I would call it, in Toronto, less than spectacular fashion, but yes, known Toronto Blue Jay Clay Buchholz.
I
Love
like
it.
that.
Love it. Love it. Cladro. He was a good pitcher for the Boston Red Sox of Boston, of Massachusetts, of Fenway. Gordo, who you got?
Well, also on Buckles, his 2013 was awesome, even though he got hurt. And Joe and I met him at Fenway this year. He's a very nice guy. Mine is not necessarily a weird one, but I picked one to uplift the vibes. I picked Rajai Davis because that is one of my favorite Red Sox of all time, and the vibes cannot be bad when talking about Rajai Davis. Told me when I was in middle school that I was too old to be wearing braces, and I've held that close to my heart ever since. That dude is awesome. Met him again at the winter meetings this past year. He's very nice, high energy guy. I wish Rajai Davis could have stuck around in 2018 because he was here in 2017. Did the cool outfield celebration where he did like the step back fadeaway, shooting a basketball while Joe Kelly guarded him. That was cool. But yeah, wish he could have been a 2018 world champ. Hit that crazy homer with the Guardians. Actually, were they the Indians back then? I think they were. Whatever, in 2019, right?
No, 2016. It was the Cubs World Series one. And
you're right. It was 16. So we had him after that.
Oh yeah, we got the good version of Rajai.
He's the man. I love that guy.
I don't remember that Selly at all, by the the one that you just mentioned. I'm like totally slipped my mind. Yeah, you gotta send me that. But yeah, one of the players of all time, and I think about that all the time too. I just lay in bed. I'm like, I wish Rajai Davis could have been on the 2018 team. So, all right, a lot of fun journeyman pitchers out there: Edwin Jackson, Octavio Dotel. But don't forget about Darren Oliver. You guys probably remember him. He pitched from 1993 to 2013. So he had a hell of a career, and he played for quite a few teams. Let me list them off in order. Texas, Angels, Cardinals, Blue Jays, Mets, Rockies, Red Sox, Astros, Marlins. With the Blue Jays, very good. 112 games, 2.9 ERA, 105.2 innings. That's over 2 years of service. So this guy isn't just a journeyman schmuck. He's actually good. However, it did not go well for him in Boston. 14 games, 4.66 ERA, only 58 innings, and a 98 ERA plus. So not great for Boston, but a good career overall. For his career, he's pitched 1,915.2 innings out of the bullpen. I think that is almost entirely, no, not entirely out of the bullpen. He had a few years as a starter, but he's pitched a lot of innings. ERA plus 104 for his career, so he's been above average. And I just think it's unbelievably impressive. Not only have 10 years of service, but 20. So Darren Oliver, all-time underrated guy, pitched for a long time, a life of baseball. Darren Oliver, thank you for your service.
I feel like that man has been old since the day he was born.
He was 40 when he was born, yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind of like you in a way. So I guess that makes sense that you picked him.
I want to look up.
Sammy, didn't you share a room with him in college back in 1993?
I like it.
You know, actually, funny is his last season was my first year in college in real life. So 2013. How about that?
Wow, man. You and Darren Oliver, two peas in a pod.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for pictures of him as a rookie. It's
it doesn't exist.
Oh my God, he's exactly the same.
Oh, he was perpetually old.
He looks exactly the same. This is wild. Yeah. All right. But yeah, Darren Oliver. Where would we be without Darren Oliver is what I like to tell people. Ask people, rather.
It's true. It's the question.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think we should wrap up there. For Sammy and for Pat and for Joe, it's Gordo here. We're wrapping this up. But, man, we got a 5-game series here with the Blue Jays, and time's getting tight. Okay, it no longer at this point in the season when you're 4.5 out pays to stay even. If you finish a day and you still are 4.5 out, then that's just a day lost. Like, you got to make up ground, and obviously that requires losses from a couple other teams, but you got to control what you can control, and that means you got to play good baseball and win games. And it starts right here with these 5 games against the Blue Jays. I think you got to take 4 out of 5 to really stay afloat here. You're hanging on by a thread. We're not going to sugarcoat it for you guys. If the season is dead, we're going to tell you it's dead. It's not dead yet, but as Sammy said before, it's on life support. So it really is coming down to it. These are some of the biggest games of the year. Even though 4.5 out, like you win 3 in a row, you're still not going to be in a playoff spot. You win 4 in a row, or even 5 in a row, you're probably not going to be in a playoff spot. But you got to add it all up. You got to win ball games. Every game matters so much, and man, you're just so close to being at that point where you're out of it. So just don't let it get to that point. We want meaningful baseball in September, and we want the playoffs. But before we get out of here, remember, hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening. 5 stars everywhere you're listening. We're on YouTube on the WEEI page. You can hit the thumbs up on those videos. And also you can find us on the socials at PlayTessie on both Twitter and Instagram. Great follow there. Man, for Sammy, for Pat, for Joe, it's Gordo here. Tough one, but you just got to get back on the saddle and try to win some games. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.